Afrofish OG. What is up, everyone? It is Taylor Afrofish OG again, along with Black Scorpio, here on the Afro and the Scorp podcast. I hope you all are doing absolutely fantastic today. This should be another really good one as well. So today we kind of got a stacked lineup here, a little bit of a stacked lineup, I think. My camera isn't doing the greatest right now, so we're just going to be kind of keeping it as is here. But his is doing better than mine, so, it is what it is. Kind of hurts my feelings, but teach their own.
Yeah, we're actually back. I actually did not break my camera.
Yeah, no, surprisingly, you didn't. Oh, that just sounds so mean. I shouldn't say that, actually. Like, this just sounds so mean. But we're going to be talking quite a few games we'll be probably bringing up and stuff. So it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I really believe so. What up, Flamingo? I'm glad you're able to make it. Flamingo is here.
Yeah, so, what?
It just makes it better. You know what I mean? It just makes it better. So the first topic I know we're going to bring up is obviously one of the big elephants that kind of dropped on everyone, which was the games that are supposedly coming to PlayStation from Xbox. And I know you had the list up, so you want to kind of say what those are.
Basically, the 4 games that Spencer has mentioned and confirmed that are coming to PlayStation from Xbox would be Hi-Fi Rush. We all remember you with Hi-Fi Rush on the game list of 2023. That should have won it. The Pentiment, not really sure what that one is all about. Grounded, and as well as Sea of Thieves, which is a pretty big one too.
No, absolutely.
Surprisingly not. Like, Sea of Thieves was a pretty big one for Xbox.
No, you're right, and that's the thing is, like, I'm as someone who's played obviously Hi-Fi Rush on Xbox and just absolutely supports it 100%. Did you know that they're the same people who made The Evil Within?
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah, I just found that out, and that's fucking wild. Wow. Like, I was like, that's not even okay. So this shows they got a lot of versatility. Well, I think that Hi-Fi Rush was one that if you told me that it was on PlayStation or Switch or whatever, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. It looks like one that should be on multiple platforms. You know what I mean? So
of course.
That one, Sea of Thieves, like, honestly, the ones that they're what I expected. I can't really see Halo coming to PlayStation. Like, as much as this could come to PlayStation, I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
I mean, yeah, like Halo or Gears, right? Or like what else is Xbox's big money makers? Like, other than Halo and Gears and stuff like that, but it's like still. I mean, the closest thing to Halo that we've seen on PlayStation would be Destiny.
Yeah,
and even then.
Yeah. No, I would definitely say so. And that's the part that's kind of interesting to me because for the most part, I feel like I'm really surprised that they haven't brought them over. You know what I mean?
No, of course. And like even with like, see, I played Sea of Thieves. I'm not gonna lie, Sea of Thieves was fun. People gave it too much slack, and I'm one of those people that gave it too much slack back in the day. But Sea of Thieves was actually fun. It was really fun for like play with your friends, traverse the open world, pillage, dig up treasures, be your overall badass pirate that you want to be. It was fun. It really was. But like now to see it come to PlayStation, it's just like, I mean, isn't Ubisoft dropping Skull and Bones? It's basically like,
I don't know, because Skull and Bones was basically in development hell for how long? Like years and years. It was constantly like, oh, it's gonna happen, then it wouldn't, then it's gonna happen, then it wouldn't. And now I feel like now that it's kind of I want to say here. Like, I don't know. I personally don't care.
I
But then
mean,
again,
Skull and Bones, like watching the trailers and everything, and I'm sure when it gets closer, we're gonna be talking about that. Uh, Another cast upcoming on certain trailers for video games, as well as perhaps probably movies yet to come.
mhm.
Yeah, no, it says basically, I feel like Sea of Thieves is the cartoony version of Skull and Bones. However, they're two totally different things. Obviously, they're two separate things, but I'm just saying like just the different dynamics. And if it's been in the talks for quite a while, yeah, it's probably gonna like
Yeah, I'll actually. So
even Grounded. I didn't really play Grounded. I know a couple people who played Grounded. That's another big one too. Like surprisingly not out of the list. I'm shocked. Again, I never played Hi-Fi Rush or Penitent. I don't know what those two are, but Grounded and Sea of Thieves. I would say Sea of Thieves is like the number one shocker off that list.
mhm. No, exactly. And I feel like Skull and Bones, it says for 2024. I feel like it was first announced so much longer though. 2017, yeah, when it first got um when it first got marketed. But I haven't heard anything about it ever since. So I guess it was released just a few days ago.
Yeah.
It was released after multiple delays and difficulties. Yeah. Um so it's received mixed reviews apparently so far. So we'll find out what it's supposed to be there. So right now, Metacritic wise, Skull and Bones is at a 72% for PlayStation, 65% for Xbox, 64%. If I look at Metacritic, this is where things get a little bit interesting though too. Um, Let me see if I can find Skull and Bones because it was given a 7 by Game Informer. But then
Mm-hmm.
it was like dropped all the way to a 4 by like PC Gamer.
Jesus.
So right now the highest that it has on Metacritic was that's what if I use any critic site, it's usually Metacritic because I think they have different critics all the time.
Well,
Um,
Metacritic is also the biggest criticism site for video games to come because it has like the whole IGN, Game Informer, everything to do
yeah.
with gaming and for gaming.
So right now it says okay, so Hardcore Gamer gave it an 80 out of 100. Um, it looks like there's a Turkish site that gave it a 75. PC Gamer gave it a 68. PC Invasion gave it a 40. And these are out of the okay, so these are some of the bigger ones. So I'm just looking for like bigger ones. GameStar gave it a 66. Uh Game Informers is to be yeah. Um they're to be determined, but there's things said a 7 out of 10. So Destructoid, um 6 out of 10, I guess that's what they're looking at right now. So it looks like
Well,
it's okay, but it's not living up to the hype that it was supposed to be that it was supposed to live up to.
but again, but how fair is that you're already reviewing a game while still in development? Like, is it fair to
But it's not
say
in
that
development, it's released.
like it has physically been released?
Yes, it came out like 3 days ago.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Well
Um
then.
but remember
That's
they also get early
oh yeah,
things
the
too.
early release dates, yeah.
Yeah, some people don't. Some people don't like or they don't give them out. Like so for the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League game, they did not give out early releases for it. Um which kind of doesn't really surprise me. You know what I mean?
No, of
Um
course.
I thought they would, but they didn't, and so it's just kind of is what it is. I know that not every game is going to get one. Um, like So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to me because like Skull and Bones was one that was super super hyped to be something and never panned out the way I think they thought it would.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the reason why everybody was trying to get it as hype as everything is because when Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out, everybody's like, yeah, we want another Pirates game. We want action. We want pirate. Blah 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 blah. Sea of Thieves was dropped. Nah, we don't want that. We want more. We want more. And then it's like, okay, here's Skull and Bones.
right. Well, and that's the thing too is like, um, you mentioned with like Sea of Thieves. I'm actually really surprised because Sea of Thieves I've heard is good. People have seemed to really like Sea of Thieves. But Skull and Bones comes through and it's just like, this is, all right, cool. Like we've been waiting for this. You know what I mean? So it came in with like much higher expectations. So that's definitely an issue. I don't say an issue, but like it's something that you had to kind of have to think about.
You know what I
Um,
smell? I smell another cast topic on issues.
um,
Gaming hypes that shouldn't be.
gaming hypes that shouldn't be. Actually, speaking of which, I have a video up being gonna be up for that tonight, but I also surprisingly have a listing up of games that were overhyped. It was from an article, so we'll be actually be able to pull that article today.
Awesome.
So that'll be another one, but it's games that were flopped on release day, so it might be games that are decent now, but flopped back then.
Right.
So I would say that, yeah, I mean, I'm not really upset with those games coming to PlayStation at all. I just, in the back of my head, I just don't see Halo going. I don't see Gears going because they're gonna want to keep some things. So I just think it got blown out of proportion.
I think so too.
So I don't hope I don't know. I really just hope that it's gonna be. It'll probably be more third party games that get sent over rather than these, Halo. I just don't. If Halo does go, then holy shit! But I don't see it happening.
I think if Halo goes and everything, it's like
Damn,
a
like
dawn of a new era. Like you're gonna
right?
see like everybody just be like complete of an uproar. Hey,
No,
Justine.
um, they're giving PlayStation holders old trash games. Yeah, I just assume that they're going to, which is not that bad. I don't think that's a huge deal at all. I actually am fine with that. First of all, however, my brain just kicked in. Sorry, but Hi-Fi Rush is not an old trash game. Thank you.
No, it's a brand new trash game.
Oh, okay. If Halo goes, it's only ODST. Okay, but ODST wasn't. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm going back and forth. I'm like, I don't think ODST was trash. I actually think ODST is actually pretty solid of a game, but that's just ma. So on top of that, Xbox also has like Bethesda titles, so like they're like fuck whatever. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for certain. And honestly, speaking of shooters, I wanted to transition over to the finals.
Do it.
So I don't know if any of y'all have played the finals. I have just started playing the finals. What was it last week when we played? Was it last week?
Yeah, we did it 4 days ago. That was
Okay, 4 days
our
ago. So
off
yeah.
my stream. Yeah.
So it was awesome. It's a really fun time. So the finals is probably, I don't know what to call it. I'd call it like what? How would you explain the finals?
It's literally a team-based PvP shooter with awesome environmental destruction, according to IGN. But it's literally true. That's what it is. I would say that if Call of Duty, Apex, and Fortnite had a child, this would be it.
Yeah, I would say so. See, the reason what I said was Apex meets Payday. But like Embark Studios, I actually go check to see because that's the company that made it, and I don't think they made anything else. I think that's the only thing they've ever made.
Well, some people also compare it to Battlefield Bad Company 2, like with the whole walls of destruction and everything, environmental destruction.
Oh my god, yeah, great. Dude. It's the destruction environment. Like it's honestly insane how much shit can get blown up.
Yeah, the
I was
whole
actually
arena.
playing. I was playing earlier, and I what would happen is that they would art like the people would RPG right underneath um the deposit, and all of a sudden, boom, just like the whole deposit walls are crushing down. I can't even get to the spot because they actually blocked it off.
Yep.
It's absolutely insane.
I've had it where they destroyed the floor that as you're trying to deposit, so you're depositing like this. Next thing you know, you and the whole caching drop through the floor, not once but twice through the map, going down.
No, exactly. Like, um, it's kind of it's fun, honestly. Like you get to choose, you get to build your loadouts. You can choose your characters. They're human looking characters, but you can give them little like zany masks and hats and stuff. Um, but then you jump right in, and it's so different. Like when you're playing, it's like you're in an arena like setting. There's only really two game modes. There's Banquet, which I just like playing Banquet more, and
Yeah,
then
banquet is
Cash
better
Out,
than cash out.
Cash Out is hard. Cash Out is very hard. But Banquet is really fun. So you go and like you take out your enemies. So you go, you eliminate your enemies, and then you run to the cash area or to the deposit, and then you just deposit the money. And it's first one to I think 40,000. So
Yeah,
like every kill that you get is 1,000.
right. Or however many coins that each person is holding.
Yep. Yeah. So like, and after so many coins, like so let's say me and Scorp are playing, and he offs like three people, collects their coins. After a while, they'll actually the announcer like straight up narcs on you and is like, "Hey, blue team has a person there with like a whole crap load of coins," and then you can see how much money they're holding.
It's basically it feels like you're in a 1987 like
Battle
game show.
Royale,
Yeah, game
like
show.
yeah, like it's um like if I don't know how the best to explain it, but yeah, it's a good way to put it. It's
Well,
super fun.
yeah, no, like IGN here also like because I have the article up too on their reviews. Like I'm just skimming through some of it. Like how they would actually put it to is like, oh, it's yeah, it's if it meets a game show, 1987. There's a movie, The Running Man. It's like if it met The Running Man, that would have been a good analogy of what the game actually is about. Um, other than that, yeah, two game modes, ranked, unranked, but there is some things definitely that we do need to talk about the finals. Um, every game has their own issues and everything, but yeah, yeah,
So
right here.
you want to start? You
It's
want
the
to start with it?
1987 movie The Running Man, where about 3v3v3 gun battles. It would have reassembled the finals. That pretty much would sum it up.
Oh no! So you want to actually start explaining what you feel about it?
Um, no, no, no. I'm not saying it in a bad way. It's like,
No, no. Like from your perspective, like I want to hear like what your thoughts are
yeah.
on it.
My perspective on it is that it's a great game. I love it. It's me obviously being a fan of shooters, battle royales. Um, it's literally in my blood from like COD, Fortnite, Apex. This just it hits different. It's fast paced. Give me the cash. Get my teammates to help me on my ass while I deposit it. Let's go. That's what sets it apart. That's what's so good about it. One thing I do find about it where I wish they would improve is obviously the game modes. There's only two, cash out and bank it. Um, yes, you could solo if you don't have any friends or any partners to co-op with. Um, so there's kind of like a solo cash out version of it. Obviously they have their ranked and unranked tournament modes, but I feel they could do better. I feel that if they put more, like a little bit more game modes in, it would actually help the platform as it goes.
I would agree. Right now, kind of it's kind of difficult because there is only two game modes, And if they gave just a simple team deathmatch, I think that'd be fun. Especially for a 3v3 team deathmatch. I would love to see maybe, I don't know, like a 3v3. I don't know, maybe a capture the flag or something, like a 3-person capture the flag kind of thing, where you have to capture the bank itself.
They could do it. They could do it. So like in the center. So from what you're saying is like from a top-down point of view, you have 3 teams of 3, and in the center would be the cash vault of, let's say, 40,000 right in the center. All teams go. It's like instead of capture the flag, capture the vault.
Oh yeah, like let's say call it like one bank down or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I do have a huge gripe with it. The cosmetics. Again, even though it's not pay to win or anything, and the cosmetics, not many people really do care about the cosmetics and everything. Don't put it in and say you have to pay and use currency for it, like real life currency, to pay for their currency just to own cosmetics. Because, like, again, if you get the people that don't give a shit about cosmetics, they're not gonna want to spend money. They're not gonna care. They're not gonna want to play. It's not like, hey, I got a fancy hat. That's gonna stop a bullet. No, it's not. That bullet's going right through my head. Like,
exactly.
Like, who cares? Get rid of it. You know what? Instead of the cosmetics, let it earn as you go. Even the slow increase time in experience. Haven't you noticed the higher now you're starting to get, the more experience, the slower the bar kind of ranges?
Yeah. To be honest with you, I haven't even paid attention, but I'm not even surprised. That's how they get you. That actually, if you probably haven't, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duels actually did the same thing. Yeah, we talked about it in my show, and we had nothing nice to say. No, better have something nice to say about Hi-Fi Rush though. But no, I think the cosmetics aren't that great. But I don't really expect much right now. I don't expect like Fortnite cosmetics where people are like paying to like, hey, bring me in here.
Actually, on the contrary, I do like the cosmetics. Like, if it's the whole Vegas theme, you have your Elvis impersonation, and you have your diamonds, your glitter, your glamour, your Nevermore, your Black Swan type. But it's, instead of Black Swan, it's the Black Raven, because they don't want to, Black Swan it. But you know
Nevermore.
what? It's just, yeah. Like, I'm a fan of the whole Nevermore. The Raven. Yep. Anyways, but if it was like for every level up, instead of a battle pass, which you don't need, or instead of having to go and spend a lot of money and everything, let your players earn it as you go.
Absolutely.
I'd be for that. Do the grind.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like they do have it able for the grind, I will say, but my thing is that when like I said, Matt, what was I going to see? Is that sorry, I saw the thing about Hi-Fi Rush, but like it's both the cosmetic and the grind. Sorry, I saw the Hi-Fi Rush, so I got distracted.
Jesus, Hi-Fi Rush on the one. Okay, go Hi-Fi Rush, go.
Shut up.
Go.
But like, my thing is like, I use Master Duel for example because they did the same thing. So the first few levels boost you like crazy, and then it just dropped where you wouldn't get anything for currency, and that is not enjoyable. That's not a sustainable market. It's not. Once people catch on to it, they'll typically don't want anything to do with it. And so why pay for all the extra stuff? I'll just go get a mask and be like, that's good, and then just kind of like fuck off.
Hey, I threw a fanny pack on one of my characters, and I said, hey, that's great. I look distinguished, and that's good.
I can give you info. I don't want to promote and take away from this show. It's good. I appreciate that. But it's all good, man. But I'm actually going to. But by the way, for anyone who's listening, make sure to tune into Devin's stream. Him and his co-host are very, very good. Level Down podcast. Please check it out. It's absolutely fantastic. So, my thing with the finals, this is something else really, really small that I noticed before I lose track, because God forbid this ADHD just is horrible for it. No problem, bud. And the one thing I notice is, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, the spawn points are terrible.
Oh, like any other game.
Oh my
But
god, it's so, dude. I just had it. I was playing earlier today, and like I break through into the big bright light that's probably gonna fuck my eyes over by the time I'm 65. And like I get back into the game, and I take 3 steps, and I'm done.
yep.
Like, also, I wish the game had a kill cam because I'm pretty sure I got aimbotted.
See, honestly, I don't prefer the kill cam because again, that's where now you're entering COD zone.
Yeah,
This
I know. I
that's
want to kill cam because I was not happy, and I was
well,
being a petty bitch.
but here's the thing. A death cam is one thing, but like in COD, it's been too many times where it's like the cam goes and shows, oh, the guy ran around half the field. Next thing you know, he turns the corner and he shoots you perfectly, pinpoint accuracy. But yet, when you actually die physically, he was nowhere to be seen. You checked all your 360 surroundings. So
Mm,
where did he get you from? Halfway across the map. So it's
right.
like, okay, now who's cheating? The kill cam shows one thing. You get killed by something else. You get aimbotted by some God knows godforsaken RNGesus. And it's like,
No, absolutely. Like,
so yeah, like kill cams are hit and misses, and it's like, no, you know what? COD has it. You see how it happens, and it's horrible. Fortnite doesn't have it, or does? I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a while. I got to get my ass back on Fortnite, and yeah, that's that. It's like, you know what? It's good as is, but they did address the issue of there were hackers and cheaters in the game, and well, the patch actually did fix aimbotting and stuff like that.
oh, okay. No, and then that does help. It was like one time where I was just like, bro, what the fuck? How do I keep getting killed? Like, there's no way, because I'm like, I got the jump on this dude. There was no way that he was able to turn around and kill me like that. You know what I mean? So it happens. I know it does. It gets me every time because like I start getting competitive. You know what I mean? Um, but the game overall is fun. The only thing I've noticed in terms of like gameplay wise is sometimes you don't aim down the sight.
No, hip fire is usually your best friend.
Well, I've had multiple times where I actually go to aim down because actually I'm better at aiming down the sight, right?
Same.
So I press you press left trigger to aim down the sight, and so I press left trigger, and it looks like it starts to zoom, but then it stops part way, so it's still technically firing from the hip, even though I'm
Mhm.
pressing down left trigger. So it doesn't
The
happen a
game,
lot, but I think
yeah, the game still has
it's a
its
little
bugs.
bug. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little bug that does it has cost me a couple times. So that kind of gets me every once in a while, but it's those little things really are kind of minor, except for when it's not. But like, for the most part, pretty minor. The game, like I said, is still really, really fun. Take out the flamethrowers. I fucking hate those.
no, take out the flamethrowers after I get the achievement for it. Then you could take them out.
Yeah, yeah,
I
right.
still need to kill another like 19 people. I need to burn them
Like
alive.
yeah, oh man. And like, they have the different levels, so like the light characters, your medium characters, your heavy characters. And honestly, it's a really fun time. It still is a really fun time. Don't let my
I'm sorry,
bitching.
but I'm gonna be the biggest bitch in the room here, and I'm gonna say, get rid of the cloaking with the goddamn swords and the
Yeah,
little.
so yeah, no, I would say that get rid of the fucking cloaking. For some reason, I don't even mind the either keep cloaking or just keep swords. Don't do both. No one likes you. Don't do that. Okay? Like
Yeah,
um
that's screw it. I'm gonna go and do it now.
no, like the thing that always makes me laugh though too in that game is when, like while you jump off a building and then you just break through the walls.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not gonna lie to you, your characters have the world's strongest forearms because they'll
Hmm.
just bust through crates. And that's the thing that's really fun is there's so many ways to take into through these modes. You'll go into a house that might have the walls covering and everything, but that wall is destructible. Toss a couple C4 on there, and all of a sudden, boom, the whole wall goes. Or like you'll be in like a mall looking area, and you'll end up breaking a grate, and then you'll go underneath the grate and then take out your enemies from underneath there. Like there's a lot of ways to go through it. It's honestly really fun. Like I said, don't let our bitching get to it. Right now, if I had to, what would you actually rate this? Out of 10.
I know going off IGN, they rate it as an 8. Me personally, again, other than my bitching and griping, I would give it about
No.
a good 9.
Yeah, I would give it about an 8.5.
Like I'd give it about a 9, yeah.
I give it about an 8.5. It's still really fun. And that is a Afro seal of approval. So
Or do you want your Scorpion sting of approval?
you're right. Like, I wish I had like a little sign to do like, just like Afro slap, and then like,
If there's any creators out there that would do it,
oh
don't
hell,
hesitate.
I will pay for that. Like when we do like a review or whatever, that'd be really fun. There's a lot to the finals. I definitely have a lot of excitement and enjoyment out of it.
I mean,
But
we actually did do very well. Like on my stream when we actually did do it, it was very well done. Maybe you could take that and you could throw it up as like your show of it,
yeah,
as your take.
no, I think I will. Another thing too that is a game that I've been playing lately, and this is definitely not going to appeal to everyone, but as someone who is a fan of football, I just started playing Madden 24, and shut up. So like I'm super late to the party, but I'm not going to like
Yeah.
Angry Joe it for an hour, but I'm going to make it really quick. Madden 24 took a step in the right direction and then decided to apparently take 2 steps back. So like the game itself, from everything I've played so far, is still Madden. It's just awkwardly slower now. They have this new field sense ability thing, right, in the game. Which is, in my opinion, the way of we have field sense, but I say that in quotations. But what it does is it allows they made it through one game. Yeah, like the superstar mode, I actually wasn't super angry with because they brought some things back, like the little mini games to determine your stats and stuff. That stuff I'm a fan of. I like that. So for me, the superstar mode was actually kind of cool, and it's been better than the long shots and the whatever the fuck they called it in 23 and 22. That was absolute straight dog shit. But this one at least is kind of going back to some stuff that I'm a fan of. Um, so I can't say I hate it as much, but like I I'm gonna be honest. One of the things I can't fucking stand right now, not just the field sense that allows like your defenders to basically just have ESP again. I don't know how many times I've had defenders either be able to match, like get burnt off the ball, yet still able to make a play on the ball despite the guy being like straight up faster than them, or make it across almost halfway, almost away, completely across the field to go make a play, a diving play at the end. Or I drop back, but because I have a meter to show how my what was I say? My my accuracy works. So like I have to drop back and then I have to get the meter. Well, no one stops during that meter. So defenders still close on the gaps. Um the lineman can still come and hit you at any time. I've had multiple times where I drop back, can't throw the ball. My player just won't throw the ball. So it's frustrating. It is super frustrating. At the times I have fun, but then it's like a really love-hate relationship. Um Absolutely. We need the streets back. We need the street games back. Um NBA Street, which I'm so surprised that EA has not even touched an NBA Street game, considering that NBA Live fucking blew back in like 2014. So why not go back to try to bring the whole street games back? Like those are the games that people want to play, that have fun with it. Those who don't have to take it so seriously. When you don't have to take a big simulation game, you can go into the street era, and that would be really exciting. Those games need to come back because I'm not gonna lie, at this point, Madden fucking blows, and it gets me really worried about this new college, because I love college football and I love the college NCAA series, which makes it really difficult to know that like this might be a fucking horrible time. So I'm glad I got that rant out of the way because
Hot
that
Shot
was
Golf it, yeah.
hot shot. No, that's not a simulation game, you dolt. That is not. That
There
is
you
no.
go. The rant is completely over, and now we're back onto Hot Shots Golf.
We are not talking about hot shots golf. We are not talking about hot shots golf. Like, we're not. But actually, there's something that I will talk about. Um, and that is play against. Also love watching people play against like JoJo Bizarre Adventure. Okay, yeah, no, the game's actually pretty fun for JoJo's, but I'm not going to get into that. I'll get into a different time. But another game that I will probably bring in real quick, but I want to say what you had is I've been playing Sly Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been going back and playing Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, and I had some. You look like you had something to say, but I have some words for it.
No. I have no words for that. Actually, I was gonna agree with Flamingo there as soon as Flamingo said fantasy, because I'm going through. I also dabble in RPG because remember I do shooters and RPG, so I am currently on a Final Fantasy Go as of at the moment. But carry on
Oh
about the
no!
Sly Cooper.
Before we go into Sly Cooper, because I'm probably gonna be another tangent. Golf
Okay.
is fun. Tiger Woods, yeah, Tiger Woods PGA is actually pretty fun. It's pretty chill. I actually like that one a lot. Tell me about talk about Final Fantasy 16 and your experiences with it.
I mean, honestly, thus far, Final Fantasy 16 for me is a blast. I'm like, I do kick myself in my ass about not getting into the Final Fantasy verse long ago. Um, However, getting into it from playing Final Fantasy 15 as my first, when it came out, was an extreme like delight. As far as I could put it. Then going on to 10, 10.2 is still giving me much of like a gripe at the moment with having to uninstall, reinstall, uninstall, reinstall, and everything as well. The combat in 15 was great. 10, 10.2 is going great. I just have to like
No,
thing.
16 is not turn-based combat.
No, 16 actually follows 15's combat style, which is open world, non how do you say it? Non-skill, like non-turn based. It's you're actually moving and changing characters as you go. So just like the Final Fantasy VII remake type style, that's another one which Rebirth is coming out just around the corner. So that's why I'm hoping to finish off 16 just before 15, or sorry, just before Rebirth as it comes out. But if you haven't played any of the Final Fantasies, if you're not into the whole RPG section, then it may not be for you, but highly, highly recommend playing 16 and then playing 7, 7 remake, rebirth, everything. It's actually well done, well made.
Right. No, exactly. Um, I would definitely say I'm pretty sure you just got someone to buy both the games now. So I like 15 or I like or 15 16. I like Final Fantasy 16 a lot. It's definitely Final Fantasy 16 is so and we might do like a podcasting where we actually talk more in depth with 16, but it is an absolute blast. Um and I say that in all like cinematically, the game is absolutely ridiculous. It's got some of the best graphics around. It's fun. It definitely is fun. This is where I also enjoy JoJo series where they change the protagonist. I love it. I love it that much. They do change their protagonist a lot. They do change your protagonist quite a bit, but like everyone, it's weird because JoJo's is like an overarching story, but it also has everything self-contained within their own story as well. So they do a good job with it. But it's been going on for a long, long time. But Final Fantasy 16 is definitely a blast. I would tell anyone to pick it up.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll get
like
back to 15, but for right
well,
now, 16 is good.
well, again, like you haven't played 16. However, you're getting a taste of it. Like you said, you don't have too much RPG style in 16. It's considered more cinematics, which we discussed in one of our other topics. Um, However, to somebody who hasn't or has really dabbled in it, who's just trying to get involved into it, 16 is, I swear, the best way you could actually do it, because they showed off the cinematics, which is really freaking great. It feels like you're in a movie, like when it gives you those action sequences, whether you're doing the dynamic dash, the slash, the jumping, the vaulting, like the twist in the air, like using your magic, and like it just has that overall like feel. You're just immersed. It's immersion. So it basically gets you immersed into feeling out the characters, feeling the way everybody is. And then on top of that, it's like it gives you that little RPG style where sure, every time you run down a road and then you end up in a cinematic thing, again, don't hate on it for being too cinematic. It's like if it doesn't, you'll just have a boring game. But that's what the
Oh no, there's
Final
no
Fantasies have
way,
been. Yeah,
no
like that's
way
what
you
Final
should
Fantasy has
be.
been
Mm-mm.
all of. Fantasy.
Like I'm gonna be 100% on that. This like the boss battles are some of the most ridiculously over the top, but so fun to watch.
Oh,
I
so very fun.
Oh my gosh, they're one of those where like everything is exploding. They just feel like the most ridiculous shit, and 100% I would recommend them.
Yeah,
100%.
and again, if you haven't played 15, so yeah, 16's weapon and armor and everything build up. Like if you're into the whole, oh, why can't I customize this? You'll see how it kind of plays with the whole 15. You don't have to play them all in order because each and every Final Fantasy is not connected. Um, it's all their own thing, but gameplay wise, 15 and 16 walk hand in hand in exact style perfectly.
Um, no, exactly. Like it's just fun. Like it's just a overall a really good time. And I would 100% recommend it to pretty much everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So like what do you say? Except whereas JoJo's is intended for shonen, seinen, or seinen. Mine is shoujo, josei. Okay, that's like for more for girls, though anyone can enjoy a demographic. Well, yeah, but I would say JoJo's. Well, JoJo's is. I mean, JoJo's is one of those shows that's more definitely for pretty much everyone. I mean, yeah, while most of their characters have male protagonists, I've never really felt like they definitely have. Each one is so unique, and it makes sense because Araki's male too. But he also wrote the absolute. I mean, in my opinion, she is the queen of JoJo's, and that is Jolene. Which is really funny because I wasn't a huge fan of her at first, but later on it became better. But no, I honestly I had a lot of fun. Moving on from the JoJo's for a minute, that's something I could talk about for all day though. But finishing up here, getting the JoJo's and have loved it ever since. Yeah, it's absolutely fun. It's super fun. I tell anyone who likes anime, watch it. The only thing that's really funny about it is I will say that people used to give so much shit to it because they would be like, "Oh my god, the clothes they wear, their styles, and all that stuff would always, oh my god, this isn't masculine or something like that." Blah blah blah. But then, like, you listen to how they actually act and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, no, um, like these are some of the most masculine dudes, despite their outfits being the most over the top and zaniest. And like listening to, oh, the clothes are fire. There is so fire, and like watching like the behind the scenes and like because like for I don't think people understand. So in the English version, I guess we're getting into JoJo's. So in the Japanese version, Hiriko Araki, I think his name is, loves music. He loves music. So because of localizations, they can't do this stuff. But one thing that's really cool is because in JoJo's, a lot of the stands and characters are based off of musical numbers or musical references. Um, like for example, Dio Brando is based off of Dio. You know what I mean? Um, Now you'll get character like originally in part 3, they go based off the stands are based off of the tarot cards. Hey Justine, I forgot you were in here. They go based off the tarot cards, but later on, a lot of the stands get based off of all the stuff later off like bands and stuff. All good, man. Enjoy your night.
Yeah, enjoy. Have a good one.
Watching, man. I appreciate it. So a lot of the stands are based off of music. So like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, White Snake, shit, there's a bunch of them. Made in Heaven, Cheap Trick. So they might be based off of something. Limp Biscuit. That was the one. Yeah, it's a stand. I was like, oh crap, it's not one of my favorite ones. Bohemian Rhapsody. So they're all going to be music based. However, over in English, they can't do that. So they because copyright, so they have to kind of switch it up. However, I will say they were able to get to use Made in Heaven, which is one of part 6's stand, even though they weren't able to. So they said because they call it Made in Heaven, like maiden and then heaven, but the way that he says it kind of gets away with it. So I was like, okay, well that's one that you can do. But yeah, there's so many different stands. I mean, I've finished part 7. Part 7 is great. I'm working through part 8 and part 9 at the same time. Part 9 is really interesting. Part 9 starts off super weird. It's super JoJo's. Like super JoJo's. And each one is a different part of the anime universe. So I'm glad we got that out of the way.
The flamingo is calling out the fish on that one.
Right. I love everything about JoJo's. Oh, she ain't calling me out, but
no, I know.
It won't matter. I am the one. Don't know. So it's definitely awesome. But the one thing I did want to show, and this was something here too. I know we talked about this before. We were talking about overhyped games.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can put this up.
I mean, I could talk about one right now as well.
Hey, yeah.
Helldivers.
Oh, you think that was overhyped?
I mean, for what it is like it's overly hyped. I'm not gonna say not in a bad way that it's like, oh my god, it sucks now. No, but it is having issues. I'm saying like you could overhype a game to a certain extent, but like now after hearing like issues about it, just like any other game, the last thing you want is that the hypeness to go. Just like when you were saying about Skull and Bones, everybody is like overhyping Skull and Bones to come out. All of a sudden, it hits a meta of 4.
Right. Like, no, I see that. Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. With Helldivers, I still can't wait to. I'm a little bit more excited to try it now that I'm hearing it be better.
I'm still on the fence.
The last thing about JoJo's, they have a unique art style. They really do. It wasn't until part 4 where they really got their art style to beat the stick.
I'll add JoJo's to my list. I've not seen it. That's why I stayed quiet, because I have not seen it. You could get your torches and pitchforks and crucify me after.
Like I have nothing to say to that.
So you do agree?
Well, I mean, do they have pitchforks where you live, or are they worried that people might find those offensive too and get rid of them?
I mean, where I live, you could stab us with ice picks and get away with murder. Or sorry, not ice picks. Icicles.
Pitchforks only have
icicles.
4. Okay, it only has 4 prongs, which means that
pitchforks usually have 3
or 4 prongs. We're gonna say 4 prongs. So it has 4 prongs where it should have 5, which means it has a disability.
So then why don't you use an icicle? It melts and you get away with moiter.
Moiter. Like take them out with the mooses.
Like, no, that's your getaway vehicle.
I never heard of the game JoJo's. JoJo's is an anime, but there is multiple games based on it. I actually have one of the games. It's actually pretty fun. I would recommend it. As long as you're getting it for cheap. I would recommend it. But we're gonna go through this overhyped games that flopped on release day. I'm sure you're gonna know some too, and you might agree or disagree. You actually might have played these, so. We're going to go over this. I'm not going to lie to you. This completely makes the video that I just made invalid. But it's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. So, all right. So we're gonna start off here. It's made by Technobob. I've never been on Technobob before. I didn't know that was a thing. There will be no DNA if you stab somebody with an icicle. I don't want to get demonetized. That not like I'm making money anyways. But like, my Twitch is still active. Like they'll go back to this page and be like, or this stream and be like, "Sir, you said that you couldn't get away. You could get away with using an icicle," and I'd be like, "Dang it." But it's by Technobob. So I like how they do say this in two. Sometimes hyping games too much lead to bigger downfalls. Expectations are not met, and the end product gets review bombed for not living up to expectations. Yeah, sometimes games get review bombed. I'm not gonna lie, but it is kind of is what it is. So we're gonna start with the first one here, and that is Aliens Colonial Marines. I just didn't play that. I honestly didn't even think this was overhyped because it didn't look good for the fucking start.
I mean,
I remember getting a fucking Game Informer like article on this, and I read it, and I was like, "This doesn't look interesting."
yeah, no, I agree with that.
No, absolutely. It just it didn't even look good. I'm really surprised that he's done like it was overhyped. No, it wasn't. You know
But
what
who
game?
overhyped it? That's a question. Who overhyped it? Like, I swear I heard nothing up here about that game.
Oh, I know exactly. You know what actually is kind of surprising to me about it too is that one game that they don't say is overhyped, but think people thought it was going to be shit, but turned out to be actually pretty good was Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
So like the fact that they had a good one, or if you made it like more of a survival horror base, because I think it's just one alien.
It is. It's a pure xenomorph.
Like there's no reason that I'm like it was made by Gearbox. So I was
Mhm.
like, there should have been no reason that you failed. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like there should be no reason that you failed this. So that was definitely a downer. This one just makes me cry.
Anthem. Yeah.
This one just makes me cry. Like it sucks because Anthem should have never failed. Like I'm sure you probably agree with me on this too. Like when this game came through, this looked like it was going to be a game that was going to last.
I
I'm
mean,
not.
it had that Titanfall feel to it. It had that feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's just there was something about it that made it flop. And
No,
once you
definitely.
get down to it, like
I think
yeah.
there's a lot of like corporate meddling. That's my headcanon. I think there's a lot of corporate meddling into it.
Yeah,
Definitely
maybe.
it definitely went walking in like it was like the number one pick in the draft. And then now it's just it's out of the league and is like absolutely fat because all it did was engulf burgers. Like, I might be talking about Eddie Lacy, but whatever. Like, he was just a first rounder, so I'm just kidding. Eddie Lacy is I actually had a lot of respect for Eddie Lacy. So Duke Nukem Forever. I don't honestly. The problem with Duke Nukem Forever was I really want to know who the fuck wanted another Duke Nukem game. Like Duke Nukem was one of those where he was big in the 90s. For those who don't know, Duke Nukem was an absolute giga chad in the 90s, back when he was like America and just made like bad one-liners and stuff like this.
Basically, it's gonna be bad to say, but it was basically like Schwarzenegger as a game character.
No, it was wasn't it Dolph Lundgren?
One of the two.
Um,
Okay, I was.
this is you know what? I don't know why the fuck I said anything.
I kept my mouth shut for a reason.
The problem is like if they wanted it to be like the thing is that it looked like I think it had a look of like cross between Arnold and Dolph and Lundgren. If you look at Dolph Lundgren, he kind of has that same feel, along with like Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was pretty much like every action star for the 80s that just kind of slammed together.
But I think it was supposed to be Arnold.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, you might be right. And the thing that was sucks about it is that there's a lot like when it comes to Duke Nukem, he was just I always called him as a joke. He was like if if Doomslayer was Deathstroke, Deadpool was Duke Nukem. And so he was supposed to be a character that you don't take as seriously. However, it took 14 years. I don't know why I remember that so bad, but I think it's because they drilled it into my head. 14 years, and then they got was a piece of shit. So for all the Duke Nukem fans, I'm really sorry. That's just gotta suck. Wizards Unite. You know, honestly, I don't even know because this is the same people who made Pokemon Go. Yeah, see, yeah, so just a bunch of other. Yeah, he's basically the Expendables if you shoved it into one body. So Harry Potter Wizards Unite was just not Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know what the fuck this shit is. Look at that. He's got you just look at the picture too. He's got a fucking griffin chained to a ball and chain in a futuristic Hogwarts. Like, I don't know what the fuck this is. But like, there's probably a reason why the game officially shut down, and then Hogwarts...
unless they were going the Fantastic Beasts route for it.
Maybe.
Then, no.
I'm not gonna lie. This picture looks horrible. Like, you got the kid who's about to get his soul sucked out by the Dementor. This kid on a skateboard who's like caught a fucking ogre in a bubble, and then like looks like the equivalent of like, oh crap, those horrible moments where the guy walks in and brings out the belt.
This is where if you had like this is where if you had the button, you just instantly slam it down and be like, seal denied.
Yep, exactly. So this is a terrible fucking picture too. I'm about to experience animal abuse right here. Lawbreakers. Now this was interesting because I think Lawbreakers was kind of around that same time that they were like where like Overwatch and Battleborn came through, and then Lawbreakers came in right afterwards, and it looked kind of fun, but I never played it. It just I never, because I think it was on Steam. I don't think it came to console. It was only on Steam. So like I just played Overwatch 1 and that was fun until Overwatch 2, and then that wasn't fun. But like, so yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. You know what I mean? Like, I personally don't have anything. It looked like a fun game, but fuck it. Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay, no, that's a definite.
That bombed on launch.
It bombed on launch, but you know what? Thank God it did, because they put their shit into gear, and now it is one of the best games ever made.
I wouldn't say the one of the best games ever made, but
No,
Anthem got. I wouldn't. Anthem, like Cyberpunk 2077 got what Anthem should have got if they would have if EA would have just let them build what they wanted to build. Because they were actually, I don't know if you knew or not, but they were doing what Cyberpunk did, where they had one major patch coming through, and they were going to restructure, but they were going to go farther. They were going to restructure the entire game. And
yeah,
EA
but
was like,
unfortunately, they didn't get the go ahead. But 2077 actually, of the year that it did tank off the launch, it did actually become one of the best known games for RPGs of sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it falls up there with like Alien Isolation, where it gets shit reviews right off the start, but becomes one of the best.
I'll definitely understand. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I'll say that. It definitely is fun. Mm-hmm. It's a good time. So, Marvel's Avengers.
I would just say no. It's an instant fail. Like, unless, again, but that's just me being me with like superhero stuff nowadays. But it's so overly hyped. Unless, like, really, you have your individual like superheroes and stuff like that. But how much more can you keep on doing?
Well, okay. So the thing is that Marvel's Avengers, was a game that just it was the same way. It shouldn't have failed, but they decided to do this like live service version, and people didn't like it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think it lost like 96% of its fan base after like a month. Like, it bombed, and it really never should have. I should be able to play as Black Widow or Hulk and Iron Man and Captain America. Miss Marvel was actually the only one that was actually fun to play. But everyone else was just kind of boring. And then on top of that, they started bringing in characters like Kate Bishop and then you brought in Hawkeye. Why would I do that? Like you basically brought the same character twice. You know, all the missions were just beating up robots. Go to mission, beat up the robots. Beat up robot. Oh, Abomination shows up. Beat him up, then beat up the robots. Like the story wasn't terrible, but shit. I mean, despite the fact that, do you know that the password to get into all of Tony Stark's stuff is "I am Iron Man"?
Because he was an egotistical
Yeah, but egotistical or
narcissist.
not, like they were like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, so you're telling me that nobody figured this out?
Because clearly nobody paid attention to him.
Nobody is apparently like everyone must have the IQ of like a puddle.
Yeah.
Except for the heroes and villains. It's basically like if you ever watch Dragon Ball and you realize that all the people around who aren't part of the cast are just idiots. So that's what I would say, but that's just me. Have y'all seen the real life Iron Man mask? I have not.
Well, are we talking about the Iron Man as in like the old school like French Renaissance, like where it was like literally a silvered iron, like the man in the iron mask type style, like that one? Or are we talking about Iron Man like Marvel's Iron Man?
I don't know.
Oh,
So
he's talking about the just talking about the Marvel one, because I remember the man in the iron mask, and it could have gone with that.
no, that's definitely fair. So moving
Ah,
from Marvel's Avengers and this shit to Fallout 76. I heard it's actually pretty good now.
it was. That's all I have to say. It was another Fallout. It was good. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good. I just didn't like how they tried to incorporate with the whole multiplayer aspect of let's add like you go around trying to kill each other type style. But again, for a Fallout series, it was great. Like I enjoyed it. But over time it started to just phase.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I was a huge Fallout fan. Don't get me wrong, but after a while, it just fizzled out.
No, that makes sense. Like I don't have any interest in Fallout, so I just never really try. Marvel versus Capcom Infinite. I didn't play this one.
I did not play that one either.
But I like Marvel vs. Capcom. I like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but that's where I stopped. Just looking at this though, this doesn't look very good. Especially Captain Marvel's face. I don't know why, but like it works with the more expressionless Mega Man, but it doesn't work as much for like Captain Marvel's face right now. I don't know. It's something about and seeing like Ryu, like I like seeing older Ryu and stuff. Overkill's The Walking Dead, which is supposed to be kind of like a Left 4 Dead, which sounds really cool, but it just apparently never panned out, which is weird to me. And I think that's it. So those are the last ones for that. I would say the only thing I would say that if for me, it sounds like they were trying. If I go back to Marvel, it looks like they were trying to push more for like the Avengers than anything else. But for me, if I were to say one that came in with a lot of hype and really bombed, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach was absolutely atrocious at launch. Like you could break. Like remember we talked about speed running before, but
Right.
like speed running, like people were beating it in like 2-3 minutes because the game was that broken. Like that's horrible. That's horrible. So I'm definitely not a fan of that. I'm not down for that cause. So it sucks. But I think I kind of wish that there's a lot where I wish we came to Security Breach, but I don't know. That was one of the games I had that came with a lot of hype and just didn't perform. I would honestly say too that kind of flopped on release day. Um, I would say for a lot of people it was Pokemon, the Scarlet and Violet too.
Well, same with
Um,
Battlefield 2042 as well. Don't forget that one. That
oh my
one that
god,
one was a huge letdown.
that was a huge letdown. So there's a lot here, but I mean, you got any final thoughts?
Um, no, I think we pretty much covered it. Other than that, I seen this list as like pretty fair for some of the games. Um, but yeah, like going back to our original topics with like the finals and everything. Um, again, great game. Anybody who hasn't played it, at least give it a chance before. Who knows? Although the numbers of the community has been dipping, again, it's to the ones who enjoy. It's a fun, fast-paced action game and everything. Don't hesitate to give it a try. If you're into the whole shooters and everything. Um, yeah, exactly. First-person shooter has its fun. Um, what else? What else did we really touch on? We touched on like
The finals, and then
the whole 4 games coming from Xbox and everything. Again, that's another. Again, what more can you ask? At least Xbox gave out 4 games.
um,
Did they say that Indiana Jones was also coming out
Indiana
with it,
Jones
with
might be
Starfield
one too.
and Starfield? Again, two other than the Indiana Jones, Starfield didn't the wasn't that not the huge money flopper as well?
Yeah, that
So
was
basically, Xbox is saying, "Yeah, okay, we'll get 4 games to come to PlayStation and everything, and it's the ones that people don't want."
I mean, yeah, I'd
Oh,
say
Indiana
that.
Jones isn't one. Oh, and neither is Starfield. Well, again, Starfield was actually Starfield was you played Starfield. What was your take on it?
Fine, kind of underwhelming.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
I didn't
what
have much fun with it.
pretty much everybody just compared it to Skyrim or Fallout in space. That's all it was.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would say, oh, one more thing before we go, before we finish up, I want to finish up with something interesting because you play Baldur's Gate. So I just saw this thing where this guy beat. So this person, they go by Fracture, a YouTuber. Let's see. Um, so holy crap! So he used only the worst spell, which was True Strike. He beat the game on honor mode,
Wow.
just using True Strike. He says, despite the difficulty and permadeath on offer in honor mode, Fracture was able to get to the game only using True Strike. In this run, I didn't use explosives. There were no necrotic corpse shenanigans. I didn't attack an enemy using my weapon's special ability that deal damage. No offensive spells of any kind. Than the all-powerful, unstoppable True Strike. The secret to Fracture's run was that the use of the specific item, the Boots of Stormy Clamor. The boots trigger when the wearer casts a spell on a hostile creature, inflicting 2 stacks of a condition called reverberation. Once an enemy takes 5 stacks of the condition, they'll take between 1 to 4 thunder damage. A tiny amount, but enough to slowly chip away at their enemies if you cast True Strike on them. Oh my god, no. I could not imagine how long that would be.
I mean, yeah.
This is gonna be the new what's it called? All right, take care.
Yep. Take care, Flamingo.
Thank you for being for thank you for watching. I will definitely say that this will be the new like Elden Ring. You know what I mean?
It's looking to be that way, especially with a lot of these speedrunners actually doing it and everything. I mean, I'm just enjoying the game for what it is. I'm 211 hours in on my first playthrough, and just like, but I'm just doing everything at the end. I'm going through every quest. I'm just trying to get the game for what it's worth. When I do when I do my second run, that's when I'm gonna go all out and just be like, screw everything else. I'm going for the achievements. I'm gonna be looking at maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 playthroughs of this, but nothing stupid as that. I mean, enjoy the game, don't break the game. And it's like you if you want to do that, you go and spend almost 999 hours with one skill, do it. Like it's
Well,
just
I mean, the thing that I see that I will say I think is also interesting is the fact that like I love seeing people just play in stupid ways. Like to see how you can beat it in a such ridiculous way. Like when you saw him beating Millennia with like just using, a guitar. You know what I mean? Or like playing this, I couldn't imagine playing this with just one thing and then just keep doing it over and over. That sounds actually kind of funny. It's something that I might catch a bit of. We should do a Dragon's Dogma 2 run. Yeah, maybe. I don't think I'm not gonna pick up Dragon's Dogma. At least not right away. But yeah. So alrighty, everyone. I appreciate all y'all being here. Be sure, like I said before, to catch Devin's Level Down podcast. He does his podcasts. You can catch them on Spotify and I believe on YouTube as well. I'll send a link definitely for his Spotify in the description below. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you for Scorp for being here again.
Yeah, no problem.
And as always, I'm Taylor from Afro Fish OG, and I will catch you all in the next.